Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with this week's installment of Rabbi E in 3, brought to you as always by MEOR DC. And I want to go deep in this week's Torah portion and make a plea for depth in life, if I may. So the Torah portion is called Toldos. It's in the middle of the book of Bereshit, Genesis. Very central and important Torah portion for laying out the direction of all of Jewish history. The centerpiece of the Torah portion is the story of Jacob and Esau, Yaakov and Esav, the twin sons born, of course, to Rebekah, Rivka, and Yitzchak. And the Torah portion talks about their divergent paths in life from a very early age, different inclinations, different drives. Yaakov, Ishtam, Yoshev, Ohalim, a wholesome person dwelling in the tents of study of the ethical monotheism and the covenantal traditions of his father and grandfather, and Esav drawn to the field, to hunting, to a life of physical passion and energy and that kind of expression, which doesn't mean he was doomed to be bad. It's not our topic now, but he could have channeled and should have channeled those energies, and Yaakov and Esav could have been partners in carrying on the covenant. It did not happen that way. Esav ended up following his passions. They led him to adultery and idolatry and murder and an unending enmity for Yaakov. And that's a whole story that should be studied and thought about. But in the middle of this Torah portion, the story of the two brothers and their struggles, we have a very strange, obscure, seemingly trivial motif, incident, vignette, I don't know what the word is, forgot my SAT words, about wells. Well, and that's where we get to digging deep. It talks about Yitzchak, Isaac. He had to flee from a famine. He settles in the kingdom of the Pelishtim, which is in the land of Israel, and he becomes wealthy. The local people get jealous of him. Another foreshadowing of Jewish history. And he moves away, moves to a different part, and there it mentions his servants dug a well in the desert. You got to dig a well to get living waters. And they quarreled with him about that well. And the Torah gives a name to it. Another well, his servants dug, Yitzchak's servants dug. They quarreled with it, give a name to it. Third well, they didn't quarrel. And it's called Rechovot, which means ample space or lots of room. What are we talking about wells here? We don't have the detailed itinerary of the forefathers. If the Torah mentions it, it's not trivial. So let's go deep first. It's all deep, but Ramban Nachmanides explains that like everything that happens in the lives of the patriarchs and matriarchs was a siman, a foreshadowing of Jewish history, so too here. On one level, the three wells represent the three temples. The first temple, Beit HaMikdash, stood. It was destroyed. The second temple, there was enmity from the beginning, and we had difficulties with the Greeks, the Romans. It was destroyed. The third temple will not be destroyed. It will last forever. There'll be no quarreling about that. It will be the realization and culmination of mankind's hopes for peace on earth. We hope it will come soon. That's represented by the third well that they didn't quarrel about. And that's a beautiful symbolic way of understanding this Torah portion, and it can excite us to see, I hope, the depths in every incident in the Torah. But let's also go deep in our own lives. There's a message here. You have to dig, you have to exert work and effort to find depth in yourself, in life. You know, you can read the Torah very superficially, and that's a cute child story or something like that. But when you dig deep, as we're supposed to, and exert ourselves, studying, thinking, asking questions, reading commentaries, the oral tradition, we see the beautiful living waters of the Torah, Mayim Chayim, open up. And it's true in our lives. We live in a very superficial era of quick fix. I want it now. Amazon Prime. You can't live your life Amazon Prime. You can't live your spiritual life Amazon Prime. You need to put in effort, dig, think, study works of Jewish ethics, study Torah. If you put in the effort, you find the depths. Deep. Well. Have a great Shabbos.